Hi everyone, I'm Sherry, and I felt the need to do a video around how do you know when someone that you may be on someone's mind, or if someone is obsessively thinking about you. Um, this I think there's a lot of people. These kind of concepts are not something that um, the mainstream in by and large that we're not taught when we're growing up is how energy works. And I think that it has been a real limitation, and it's unfortunate that everyone is not trained from a young age to understand energy and how energy works, especially our mental, emotional energy and our energy fields as beings. So we have the ability when we through I mean, a lot of people have heard about the law of attraction, and that when you think about things, you're pulling those things towards you um, through that law of attraction. However, there is a caveat to that, and the caveat to that is your inner self and what your mind and heart have to be in agreement. Your soul, mind, and heart kind of have to be in agreement in order for those things to be attracted towards us. So if you're feeling one way, but in your mind you're feeling another way or thinking another way, and there's confliction there, the universe doesn't always know what we want. We're not being clear to the universe on what we want. So it's whatever wins out that is got the most energy, what we have the most passion around. So if we are angry, say, then we're sitting in a lower vibrational energy, and we're going to attract, even though we may have a desire to do something that is happy. But if mentally and emotionally we're in this state of anger, even though there's this desire to do something better for ourselves, we're sending out these wavelengths of energy that resonate with anger. So we're going to attract more things toward us that are going to make us angry, because that's what we're vibrating at, is that frequency of anger. And so that's what we're sending out, and that's what's going to come back toward us is things that are going to make us angry, because that's the energy that we're sitting in. So it's really important that, you take time to really look at where you're at mentally, emotionally, in your heart and soul, and get everything into alignment. And a lot of times most people do this through meditation, and meditation isn't for everyone. There's lots of ways to do this. It's just figuring out the way that works for you. However that happens for you, that process, you got to figure out that for yourself, of how you can get yourself into alignment. But that kind of thinking, so example, and this is where we're going to go into whether someone's on your mind, someone has you on their mind or is obsessively thinking about you. So this is going to affect your energy, especially if you have bonded with that person in some way. So energy travels over space and time. There's no real restraints on how, on energy and the distance of energy. So literally you can connect your energy with someone clear on the other side of the world, or anywhere, there's no limitation on that. So if you put a person in your mind and you have them on your mind, what they look like, you have had a connection with them, you've either talked to them or whatever, you've met and you have this connection, you've made that connection with each other, and they're on your mind, then you can send energy their way. And they have the opportunity, depending on willingly or unwillingly, like, we can think of someone unintentionally, like they cross our mind or whatever, and whatever thoughts we attach to that person, whether they be good or bad, we're sending that energy to that person. So it's really important that we're cautious with the way we think about someone else. Like when someone crosses our mind, like the minute they cross our mind, the feeling and that we associate with that, there's the potential for us to send that energy toward them, and whether they realize it or not, if they don't know how to protect their energy, then we could inadvertently cause them harm, not necessarily in a really bad way, but we have the potential to affect their energy. And so, like, if we're sending negative thoughts, like if we attach negative thoughts to someone, whether that be from a place of jealousy, envy, anger, resentment, if you send those type of vibrations towards someone, you're thinking about someone and you're sitting in those types of emotions, you're sending that type of energy toward them. And in essence, you're beating down their resistance. So you're trying to bring their vibration, whatever vibration they're sitting at, you're bringing their vibration down to where your vibration is, that you're projecting out toward them, because energy wants to balance itself out. So if you're sitting here in these lower vibrations of anger and jealousy, and maybe they're sitting up here feeling good and happy, it's the energy wants to balance itself out. So, you may feel a little bit better because you're presenting those feelings toward that person, and it's making you maybe feel a little bit better, even though it's really from the wrong place to get those feelings of feeling better from. But you're feeling better because you're trying to bring them down. So you're pulling their energy down while they're pulling your energy up. And that is so unfair to do to somebody. And most people out there don't understand how to shield themselves and protect themselves from someone else projecting energy from them. I mean, luckily we do have our guardian angels and spirit guides and the divine around us that always we have our spirit force around us. Whether you believe that or not, we do have things around us that do help protect us naturally from a lot of that energy. But it's better when you're consciously trying to protect yourself. And I'm not going to use this video to go into detail in those forms of protection per se, but one of the ways is to constantly ground yourself, ground your energy, whether that be through connecting regularly with nature or eating, drinking lots of water, eating healthy foods, really, taking time out to meditate, or, take baths, that self-care stuff. When you keep your energy balanced, that's a form of way of helping protect your energy, but also consciously imagining, kind of a shield of energy around you. Just setting the intention daily that you want to protect your energy from anything any external energy forces that are coming your way that aren't for your highest good. if you set that intention in your mind, whether whether you look at it as prayer or meditation or affirmations, or so many different things it can be called, but it's really that positive reinforcement, that line of thinking of setting an intention for yourself of, this is what I want to do. I want to protect myself. I want to shield myself from harm, any external harm that comes my way that isn't for my highest good. So that's a simple way. There's lots of things out there, resources you can go and find that can help you learn how to shield yourself from somebody else's energy. But what I wanted to talk about, is that energy exchange. So when somebody is thinking about you, like I said, depending on the energy, the way they feel and they're thinking about you at that moment is the energy that they're sending towards you. And so if, that energy, if it's negative, like as I was saying, if you're, depending on where you're at, it can affect you and drain you. So you could start feeling things like anxiety or depression or exhaustion, being fatigued, things like that. And I want to say, that's not the only reason for those things to happen. So you really have to use discernment here to understand if this is, someone else sending this energy your way, or if it's something else that might be medically going on within you, because it could be something else entirely. So you have to use your own discernment to understand what it is that are causing those symptoms for you. But one of the ways you can kind of detect sometimes if somebody is sending you energy is in that moment, if you start, you're feeling these feelings, and if someone pops into your head out of the blue, you could be doing something else, whatever it is. You could be watching a TV show, whatever it is, you're distracting yourself, and you could be at work, you're doing something where your mind is somewhere else completely, and all of a sudden somebody pops into your head. The thought of someone pops into your head. More than likely, this means that that person is thinking about you, that they are on your mind. I mean, you are on their mind, I should say. So if that's the case, in those instances, more than likely, it's somebody that has got you on their mind and is thinking about you. And depending on how you are feeling in that moment, probably can tell you how they're thinking about you, whether that's good or bad. So, so wherever they're sitting, they may bring those feelings up in you, because they're connecting their energy to your energy. Maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally. It depends on the person. Because there's many people out there that do this unintentionally because they don't know better, because they haven't been taught that this kind of dynamic happens in our lives. So just take somebody now that is obsessively thinking about you, whether that be, if somebody is thinking of you in a passionate sexual connotation, or they are just obsessing about you because they're infatuated with you, and they're thinking about, or if there's been conflict between the two of you, and there's this conflict, and so they're really, that conflict, that moment of conflict is really between you and that person, is really on your mind, and you're going over and over and over again with it in your mind. You're keeping that conflict happening by sitting in that energy, because you're in that energy, you're projecting that energy toward them, because you're thinking about them and the conflict that happened, and you're projecting that energy to them. They're picking up on that, and so they're reflecting it back towards you. They're coming back towards you in that same energy. So if you want to break that cycle, one of you has to get out of the energy. And the trouble is because most people don't understand this, that, if you're projecting that energy on someone else, they're going to pick up on you, they're going to start thinking of you in their mind, in those same feelings, and it's just like I said, it keeps you both stuck in that same energy, because you both now are sending each other energy back and forth over that same issue, so to speak, and causing problems. But this is a way of manifesting someone towards you. Like if you're obsessively thinking about someone, you may be, pulling them towards you. But we all do have free will. So this is important to note. You do have free will. Every single person has free will. So they can choose whether to accept what they're feeling or not. Like when that energy comes toward them, depending on where they are in the moment and how they feel about you, they can reject or accept. They can allow that energy to interfere with how they feel or not, based on their free will. So you do have the choice consciously to, when someone pops into your mind, or if you're feeling a certain way, to dismiss those thoughts or feelings. You can discount them. You can understand by sitting, taking a moment to understand if this is from you, like you're feeling that way, knowing what you've got going on in your life, or if it's somebody else. Like understanding those differences will really help you understand whether, like whether someone else is making you feel that way, or whether it's really you and something that's internal to you that's making you feel a certain way. So these are the thing, like the main thing that I wanted to bring up and talk about overall was just this, to kind of give people an insight into this kind of energy dynamic, because I think a lot of people don't realize and don't understand it. And I really hope that this helps somebody, or many people. I hope that somebody doesn't take this information and use it nefariously and use it to try and hurt someone. But I wanted to educate people so that you could protect yourself from somebody that maybe is trying to use this in a nefarious way towards you, so that you can be aware and try and protect yourself and protect your energy, so that you can keep yourself in a higher vibrational frequency. This is something that I've really learned to take into practice for myself. And I can really sense now when someone is sending me negative vibes and negative energy, and I know where it's coming from, and I deflect it. I block it. I don't allow it to affect my energy and where I'm at. And it makes a big difference in your life. When you're aware of it, you know what it is, you know that it's not yours, and you choose not to take that energy on, that you keep yourself in a high vibration, happy place. Because if you want a happier life, you need to sit and raise your vibration and keep yourself sitting in a place of happiness, joy, contentment, gratefulness of everything, appreciative of everything that you have in your life. When you sit in those energies and you stay in those energies and choose to stay in those energies, you're going to really keep attracting those things into your life. So that's where I want to end this note. I really hope this was helpful for someone. It's something I felt the need to really talk to about, and share with my viewing audience. So if you like this message and you got something out of this video, please hit that like button down there, and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more stuff. I do a regular 2 videos a week called Soul Weather Forecasts. I do one for the week and then one on the weekend for the weekend every week. And then I do occasionally do messages like this that hopefully, help someone out there learn something new, gain wisdom or insight or a different perspective on something that they haven't before. And that's what I'm doing it for, is to hopefully, help somebody out there, that these are literally for you. And I do them just to help somebody. So, or hope somebody, it helps somebody out there. Sorry, I got kind of tongue twisted there, which is kind of interesting. And so I love you all. I'm going to leave it here on that note. And so I'll see you later. And y'all have a good day. Joy, love, and light.